It is Wednesday, January 10th, 2024, and I am. Well, in case you didn't already know it, that means that I've been here, living here, and working here for 6 months, an entire half a year. It really doesn't feel like that long. Um, it feels like just yesterday I was trying to figure out if setting the fan on one setting higher would mean that it was too loud for me to sleep. Uh, but I kind of needed to because otherwise I was going to like be on fire the entire night. And now here it's like, okay, so how can we get the most amount of me underneath these covers as possible? uh, which doesn't even help because I still overheat at night. It's so annoying. Uh, it's snowing again. Um, it was clear and actually sunny for a lot of today. So a lot of parking lots and driveways got cleared off, and actually like basically got dry in the sun. And now it's all covered again. uh, but such is life. Such is January. Um, Seems like most of these snowstorms don't come until after the new year, at least in recent memory. So I did the whole like year long recap thing back at the new year, which was just like, a week and a half ago. So I'm not going to do all that again. But my brother and I celebrated by going out for Mexican food tonight. So that was that was a fun way to celebrate it. It was some good Mexican food. It had a drive-through, and I don't know how they can do drive-through Mexican food, but it was really good. Uh, yeah, it's hard for me to believe that I've been here half a year already. I wish I was better at my job, but so it was really interesting. Um, when I started this, I had been thinking about a video journal for a while, um, at least probably a year. Uh, I've been interested in like hand journaling for a long time before that. I always thought it was interesting, uh, kind of like taking snapshots of your life, basically, so that you and maybe other people could go back and look at them. And, well, so part of it is that there's this paradox of the good old days, right? Um, everybody, the things that you remember are the things that make an impression on you, and a lot of times life when you're younger seems simpler. You don't have as many things to keep track of, so you're more likely to imprint and recall carefree, happy memories. But there's always that paradox of, the good old days are when you're living right now, So that's also part of the point, I guess. Um, I'm trying to form some sentences about what I'm thinking right now. I tend to get lost in the past, maybe. I don't know if that's quite the right way to say that. Uh, So it's especially important to me to remember what's going on. What well, and history is the point of history is knowing why people make decisions or why they make them in that particular way. So knowing being able to explain myself is probably uh, it should be important to everybody, but I don't know. There's something there that I'm trying to pull out, but it's not coming right now. Um, I guess as an update for this, I have not done anything with any of the footage that I have, besides moving it all to a different hard drive because it was taking up too much space. So I think I'll get in on editing it and maybe posting it because I've been talking about that since day two, and it's been half a year. So since I haven't decided not to do it, I should probably just say, "Speak now or forever hold your peace" to me, and hold my peace and do it because I've had half a year to decide not to, and that's probably long enough. But yeah, I guess what I'm trying to I guess really what the thing is that I'm worried that there would be a time when I wouldn't be able to explain myself to somebody. So there's lots of there's lots of reasons why that could be, and I can think of like three or four uh, from a couple of years past that would be pretty important. But and sometimes we just forget that people are people. That sounds really dumb, but it's something I've had to figure out a few times. Uh, One of the things that probably influenced me a lot more than it should have was my my mom's old desk was in my sister's room growing up, and it's like my sister would I don't even know what she'd do there. She didn't like work there. She didn't do her homework or whatever. Um, but uh, my mom still had stuff from when it was hers in there, and one day I got curious after I'm pretty sure it was after my sister moved out. Oh yeah, no, it totally was. Uh, and what I found in there was my mom's journal, and you know, being the curious person that I was, I read like the first page or something, and it's not recommended to do that. I would not recommend that you do that. Uh, But, you know, sometimes understanding people is really hard. And sometimes I've never been. Well, first of all, I've never been at such a loss for words. I love explaining things to people. And it's not because I like being smarter than people, because the people who want to just be smarter than other people can just do that. It's not like I like having a power thing over people. I think there are some people that definitely fall into that category, and sometimes they think they like teaching when they just like knowing. But I don't think that's true. I don't think that's correct. Uh, I think that if you explain something well enough, then people should be able to understand. Watch out, dude. The roads are slick. But what does well enough mean when you're talking about understanding a person? I don't think that is that possible. I don't know. And sometimes you don't need to. You can't have a full profile on everybody in your life, you know. And it you know, like seeing your teacher at the store or something, or there is some amount of compartmentalization that needs to happen for people to function, basically. And with things the way they are now with social media, it's almost like there are times when things are a lot less compartmentalized because of that. Like, you don't need to know that you're well, yeah. I'm sure everybody can think of their own things that they don't need to know about people, but I think it's also gotten a lot more compartmentalized somehow. Like, you know everything that's going on in their life, but Do you know them? Do you know why they do it? Do you know, what what do you know? And the answer is, you know what some algorithm thinks is going to keep you watching for the longest amount of time. And is that okay? But when you start to realize that the people you're interacting with online aren't real people, they're projections of people that they put on, you know, to try to it's weird because and you when you see stuff on social media, is it are you seeing a more true reflection of the person, or are you seeing what they think appeals to their friends? I mean, I think there are some people who are more real to people online than they are to people in their real life. But I mean, there's also a lot of times when it's not. But I don't know. I started this off fully expecting that I'd just tell you guys about my day and about the snow. uh, but it wouldn't be a half year anniversary without thinking about things, I guess. Asking questions. I don't really think I have the answers to any of these. Um, I think there's a lot more people asking these questions than there used to be. I mean, was I more real when I was recording stuff back when, back on Spring Break 2019? Or am I more real now? I don't know. It's hard to tell. Things I've changed a lot since then. I think at some point this video journal was also kind of like um, a temporary substitute for like human interaction, which is really sad to say. Uh, but I wasn't really in a good place in college to make like good college friends for various reasons. Um, One of them being that the pandemic happened, like right in the middle of it. And also that the campus I went to for most of it was not residential. So, and among other things, it meant that, um, well, most of the people in the classes with me um, were, well, some of them were a lot older than me, and a lot of the people that were my age um, weren't really taking things as seriously, I guess, would be the way to put it. So that coupled with like a year and a half off of like all human interaction, and then now, now me graduating and moving here to a place where I know like a grand total of two people and a third, which turns out I didn't know was here when I moved here. So, extra bonus, right? But I don't know. And the third thing, I guess, is that one of the things that I've learned in college is that trying to explain things makes you understand things. Like when you have to turn your ideas into words. I mean, I don't know if this is like a thing or not, but it's been like obvious to me for a long time that people don't think in words. A lot of people think they think in words, but you don't. Um, like when you try to explain a dream, when you actually try to explain it, what you're doing is you're like fixing it in time. By explaining it, you're like rewriting parts of it that didn't make any sense to make sense somehow. And By saying it, you're turning your dream from a collection of ideas that flow together into history. But that's not what the dream was. But when you explain something, you have to figure out what it is before you can figure out how to explain it. Before you can put words to it, you have to figure out what words it is. So if you can talk about what you're dealing with, it helps you figure out some stuff. And I've done a lot of that with this video journal. I mean, today especially. I mean, really. I'm just thinking back to like 2019 me would have been trying to talk like this entire time because, you know, my voice was totally dead when I was recording those. Like, I don't know if I like took a break to swallow or like anything. I don't like when I do these now or when I do like 3 hour streams. I mean, I usually have something next to me since well, because of that, some sort of water or something. But 2019 me would not be happy with these long pauses. But that's fine, because I've changed. I actually learned about that in my public speaking class. There's some weird symbiotic relationship between trying to be a streamer before, a streamer and video maker before a public speaking class and after. Because I feel like a lot of that stuff in there was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I figured that out when I was trying to record this. And a lot of it that was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. I should think about that. I learned a lot about myself also when we did the first public speaking speech, which was about us. And there was like a limited amount per slide. It was called, I think it was called a Pachacucha speech, but the professor always called it a Pechacucha because that's what everybody calls it, I guess. And that was also really interesting because it's like, okay, I don't like, believe it or not, don't look at the fact that I've recorded half a year minus 2 days of a video journal. I don't like talking about myself a lot. It just feels like whenever I'm actually talking to someone, there's more important things to do than that. Which probably is not so great, but I guess that's another topic for another day. But it's like, okay, so what do I want people to know about me? I did really well in that public speaking class, which I was surprised about. You I have had some of the weirdest social experiences. Uh, You'd think I'd have an easier time of what I'm dealing with, like at work and stuff now. I don't know. I think I can. I think I can work with that, but I need to. I need to figure. I need to figure some stuff out. Uh, I don't know. I don't. Is there any loose ends from this conversation? I don't know. I I don't know. I don't think there are any loose ends. I don't remember 90% of what I've been talking about for the last 31 minutes. But whether or not I actually post these, I hope that you've enjoyed having a look at what I've done. And I guess that's about it.